What if I told you that being instantly stylish has very little to do with chasing trends and everything to do with mastering what most people overlook? The secret isn't more, it's knowing which details elevate you the moment you step out the door. There are things you can put on right now that don't just make you look polished, they make you look finished, intentional, and magnetic. And that difference is what sets apart women who turn heads from women who simply get dressed. The first thing that instantly transforms your look is structure in small places. Most people think of structure as tailoring entire outfits, but the truth is style is decided at the edges. The line of a collar, the firmness of a cuff, the way a piece holds its shape where it meets the body. That's where the eye lands first. When those points are sharp, your whole look feels composed. Then there's contrast in texture. Stylish women never wear a flat look. They create a conversation between fabrics, something matte against something that reflects light softly, something fluid beside something firm. It doesn't have to scream, but it has to speak. That dialogue between surfaces makes people read you as elevated without knowing why. Another instant signal of style is intentional proportion. When the balance of lengths, widths, and volumes looks thought through, people assume refinement. Proportion is one of the fastest ways to communicate taste. And the beauty is, it's less about the actual size and more about the relationship between elements. Stylish women know it's the ratio that makes the look. Color also plays a role in instant style, but not in the way most people think. It's not about boldness, it's about depth of tone. Elegant wardrobes lean on colors with complexity, shades that hold more than one note so they shift under light. That kind of richness reads immediately as expensive. When your color story feels layered rather than flat, you stand out. And here's something rarely mentioned: closure psychology. Buttons, zippers, clasps, ties. The way a piece fastens tells a subconscious story about polish. Clean, deliberate closures give a sense of order and stability, while messy or flimsy ones collapse the look. Pay attention to the smallest mechanisms and you'll change the entire impression of your style. Another detail that makes you instantly stylish is consistency in finish. When metals match, when leathers echo each other, when textures seem to speak across your look, it creates a harmony people can't put into words. Stylish women don't overwhelm with variety, they curate with precision. That cohesion is what makes people think she looks expensive. And finally, there's movement. The way fabric falls when you walk is one of the strongest signals of style. Clothes that glide, that return to their line after motion, that feel alive instead of collapsing. Those that create elegance in motion. Not just what you're wearing when you stand still, but how it behaves when you live in it. What makes all these things powerful is that they work instantly. They don't require years of collecting or endless effort. They're the hidden signals: structure, texture, proportion, tone, closure, finish, movement, that tell the world you know what you're doing. And the truth is, once you see these details, you can't unsee them. That's why stylish women always feel untouchable, because their clothes are speaking in a language most people don't even realize exists. And when you learn to speak it too, you stop wondering how to look stylish. You simply are. Here's the psychology that makes those signals so powerful. When people see you, their brain is scanning for coherence. Does what they're seeing make sense? Is there harmony, intention, rhythm? When your proportions align, when your finishes match, when your textures create depth, the eye relaxes. The brain registers order, and order feels expensive. It communicates stability, confidence, authority before you've even spoken. Take structure at the edges. A crisp cuff or a defined collar tells the subconscious that you have control over the details, and humans equate control with competence. That's why you look more polished the second you wear something that holds shape where it matters. Texture contrast works because our brains crave stimulation, but not overload. Too much sameness feels flat. Too much variety feels chaotic. The right contrast is that sweet spot where people's eyes linger. They can't quite explain why, but they keep looking. That's what creates the impression of elegance without extravagance. Proportion speaks directly to psychology because it echoes nature. Balance is built into how we perceive beauty. Symmetry, golden ratios, harmony of scale. When your clothing reflects those principles, even subtly, it registers as attractive, powerful, right. People don't know why, but they sense it. Color depth affects emotion. Shaded, layered tones activate more complex responses in the brain than flat primaries. That's why Bordeaux feels richer than red, or ash feels more refined than grey. Depth makes people associate you with sophistication, maturity, authority. It's a shortcut to gravitas. Even the smallest things, like clé psychology, fastenings that feel deliberate signal reliability. It's not just about function, it's about how the world reads order in your image. People trust what looks intentional, and movement is maybe the most subconscious of all. Clothing that glides and settles as though it was meant to move with you creates a sense of effortlessness. The psychology here is simple. When you look unbothered, others assume you are powerful. Expensive style always looks unrushed, and movement reinforces that. This is why instantly stylish women stand apart. It's not that they're wearing the most outrageous thing, it's that their clothes satisfy the eye, the mind, and the emotions all at once. They create harmony, balance, and subtle stimulation, and humans are drawn to that like magnets. So the next time you wonder why some women look unforgettable the moment they walk in, it's not luck. It's psychology woven into fabric. And when you understand these signals, you can use them too. Not to copy someone else's look, but to create your own presence that feels inevitable, finished, and always stylish. When you connect these signals to fall 2025, it becomes even clearer why they matter now more than ever. This is a season where fashion has shifted into seriousness. For years, clothing leaned on irony and spectacle, but fall 2025 is about precision, refinement, and depth. That means the world is already primed to notice the subtle signals, the clean edge, the balanced proportion, the quiet richness of color that mark someone as stylish instantly. Structure at the edges fits this mood perfectly. Fall is a season of layers, but what makes a look resonate now is not bulk, it's discipline. Defined edges signal clarity at a time when culture feels chaotic. People read those details as control, and control is elegance. Texture, contrast also belongs to this season because fall fabrics invite depth. The plush against the crisp, the matte beside the luster. These tactile conversations are what make wardrobes look intentional instead of accidental. In 2025, texture is storytelling. It's how you show that you're not just wearing clothes, you're composing them. Proportion is especially relevant because silhouettes this year are less about extremes and more about harmony. It's not oversized or shrunken for shock value. It's balance as power. The eye is hungry for equilibrium, and proportion delivers it. Color depth has become a status marker in fall 2025 because it separates the elegant from the obvious. Flat, synthetic shades look dated instantly. Shaded, layered tones look sophisticated. It's no longer enough to choose a color. You have to choose one that carries shadow, memory, and dimension. That's what makes people think of wealth, of refinement, of permanence. Even closures and finishes reflect where fashion is heading. The culture is rejecting disposability. People are paying attention to craft again. When your clothing fastens with authority, when your metals and details align, it signals you are someone who invests in pieces that last. That perception alone elevates you. And movement. This might be the most powerful signal of all in fall 2025. Because this is the season of elegance in motion. Clothes are designed to flow, not fight, to return to their line after you walk, to hold grace even when you're not standing still. Movement separates fabric that is alive from fabric that is dead. And the world notices the difference instantly, even if they can't explain why. So what does this all mean? It means that fall 2025 is the season where psychology meets style. The signals that make you instantly stylish, structure, texture, proportion, color depth, finishes, movement, are the same signals fashion itself is elevating right now. To understand them is to step into alignment with where culture is heading. And that's why now is the perfect time to embrace them. Because when you do, you're not just dressing for today, you're dressing in the language of tomorrow. And nothing makes a woman look more stylish, more expensive, and more unforgettable than being ahead of the curve in a way that feels inevitable.